Alright, so welcome back to the garage. I've really not done much of anything out here this year. I've gotten rid of a bunch of stuff and made up some more room, but there's unfortunately a ton of stuff that I really just don't have a way to get rid of, because if I throw it in the trash, I will supposedly at least go to jail because they have a ton of cameras on these trucks and yada yada yada. There's also a lot of stuff that is just not in the really get rid of category, but need to find somewhere else to put it so I can keep going with the building. But in this video, we're going to finally extend the workbench another 8 feet forward because I have some 3/4 plywood and we're gonna just rock and roll with it. Now on the way that I do these, the back rail secures right to the wall, since the ledge right here doesn't really allow me to run a leg to the floor, and I don't really need to run a leg to the floor. So we get back plate up, put a leg up, run the front plate up to a leg down at this end, and it's just pretty straightforward and simple. The most complicated part is getting it level. Now I'm using a 2x3 here because a 2x4 will hit the light socket down here. And I want to make sure that I'm above the receptacle. That's there. So the way I do this is to hit that one in, and then I can slide down to the other side and put it in with the other ones to square it up, because never in my life have I had a second person to help, and honestly, if somebody walked in and said, "How can I help?" I honestly wouldn't even know what to tell them to do, because I don't even know how to communicate that. So we just do it one at a time. The nice thing about having paneling is you just look for where the paneling is nailed in, and so far we've had really good results of there being a stud there. And we just bring in bottoms, and that's a nice level board. We have clearance all the way to the cover plate, so we don't have to worry about that. It's easier to just put a 3 up than it is to notch out a 2x4. Down there and we'll be good, at least for now. We'll come back after we're done, lock everything else in. Okay, so because I have this extra piece here, I'm just going to, I'll have to notch this down a little bit, but we're just going to put it about halfway. That way the next one that goes down can half screw into this, and then we'll shoot it down to there. So I do need to measure out and cut these just a little bit down so I can get them for my legs. We'll put in end pieces, and like I said, this really shouldn't take very long to do. Okay, so as usual, there was a bunch that I cut out because of measuring incorrectly and just blatantly forgetting that entire posts exist, and coming up cutting things 2 inches short, and then 3 inches short, and then 4 inches too long, and just cutting out a lot of absolute annoying frustration because I'm not capable of paying attention to what I'm doing, is what it basically boils down to. But don't worry, because there's no neurological issues. It's just a cry for attention because I was never tested as a child, so it's all good. So we have our second section up, bi-level, all even with the first section, So I've got two levels of storage and a level of work. I don't usually put a lot on the floor. Back here is pretty safe, but for whatever reason, the entire outside runs into the floor drain. So even with the garage door shut, it'll still get under the brand new seal that we've tried multiple times. Don't know how. Somehow or another it does. So I'm generally careful with what goes on the floor, even though back here it's usually pretty safe. So the next thing is going to be to get this side, get this thing cleaned out and taken down, because quite frankly I would like to just run this all the way around the corner and up to the end and just have one solid continuous bench. It would be a U from both sides of the garage. That way I have continuous storage and that kind of stuff. The problem with that is there's some stuff that I don't want to throw out. There's some stuff that I would like to throw out that can't. There's stuff that's just big, and that's probably gonna be a multi-month project because I only have the one bin and we're not allowed to put stuff outside of the bin. But now that this is done and I can start putting some of my plastics over here for storage, that will open that up and make that a lot easier to actually work with. So, yay, one thing at a time, but that is this project done. And I'll give you a quick overview of the full bench as it's currently set up, and then we're out of here. So it goes all the way along the back, and then it corners and then comes up this side. This side I have open. There was originally lack of materials, but it allows me to store over stuff like my carts and my battery charger and that kind of stuff. So that works well for over there. There is a lot of space because most of that stuff doesn't need to take up as much space as it is. And then I just notched out for my cord to go underneath. So pretty happy with it. I want to run it into that corner and then back up over to the jut out, and that'll be my complete bench. That is the goal, but there is a lot of stuff there to put away or find a new home. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you on the next one.